today we're going to talk about shoulder mobility. Greetings, my fellow warriors. It's your boy Mechanimo, and today we're going to talk about shoulder mobility and just focus on one exercise, one of my favorite one that I prescribe to people who have issues with tightness in the shoulder, and sometimes it resolve the pain they have ongoing for years in the shoulder. And most of the time, people pain and tightness is due to lack of shoulder mobility. So this one that we're gonna go over is called the shoulder dislocate, and it's one of the way to address the full range of motion, the full range of rotation of the shoulder joint. It may look painful, but I can assure you that everybody has the potential to get that full range of motion to a certain extent. So we're gonna go with two different variations. We'll have the resistance band one, which will be for those who are beginners and who want to, just test the shoulder mobility, see the extent of how much they can do. And then the second step will be using a more rigid tool, or like a wood or a piece of plastic, whatever that can be rigid and you can grab onto it. Yeah. So usually I use my wood, the what you call it, my hiking wood that I will show you guys soon. But we're gonna start with the resistance band version. So we're gonna start with the resistance band, and we have two versions. We have the shoulder dislocation that you can perform from the front, and you have the shoulder dislocation that you can perform from the back. In any case, your hands have to remain pronated, meaning palm facing your body. And then you start by going to, I would say, depending on the resistance of the bend, I would say about shoulder or slightly outside of shoulder width. And then while you keep it pronated, the goal is to keep your arms as extended as possible and rotate around your body and come back to, go to the furthest range and lock it out. And then in the same manner, slightly come forward. So right here, full extension, right there. And to help out, especially when you're using like a more rigid tool, you won't have to lock out your elbow. But with the resistance band, so you avoid bending your arm as you go on the tool, I would suggest with the pronated hands, kind of twist a little bit out like this, like you can see, twisting out. So pronated, twisting a little bit out, it will help you maintain the arms, that elbow lock out, and then you maintain it locked out the whole range of motion right here. So if you're feeling like it's too tight in your shoulder, that means you definitely like some mobility, some range of motion in there, and you will have to slightly go further. So that's the key. The further you go, the easier the exercise is gonna be. Now your goal is from the furthest end, slowly narrowing yourself to a very narrow grip and still be able to rotate back and forth. The good news is with the resistance band, the length of the band would adjust according to the amount of range of rotation that you have in your shoulder blade, like such. With a piece of wood or anything, because of the fact that it's hard, you will just be limited to the range of motion that you choose, and force your shoulder to make the extra work to adapt to it. And let me go for the reverse version. For the reverse, the one performed from the back is the same thing. You will have your arm pronated and grabbing the band in the same manner, and from here you elevate, and you'll see that as I elevate, I kind of run as I'm running out of range of motion. I'm elevating my shoulder to make up for it, and as soon as I reach the sweet spot, usually that sweet spot will be here. Then my arm revert back, and then I can come here with, again, something that's more sturdy and rigid. It will be hard for you to do so. You definitely need to have some good amount of mobility in that shoulder. So pretty much back and forth, back. And even though I'm saying back and forth, note that the motion starts in the back and pronated, and as you twist it, it will come here. At all time, keep your arm straight. So that's the shoulder dislocation for beginners, and anybody can perform it because of the elasticity of the band. So this is something that can help you out a lot with shoulder tightness and shoulder pain. It will help you. Now the analogy is that kind of grease it up a little bit if you wanna, even though there's no grease going in. So, but it stimulates the very end ranges of your of your shoulder girdle. So now we're gonna go with a piece of stick. That one is gonna be more challenging because it's hard, so you won't be able to stretch the wood. Wherever you grab the wood, that's where you're gonna be stuck and have to maneuver through, and deal with with that range of motion. And again, just like the band, feel free to narrow your grip or widen your grip depending on how much range of mobility you have in your shoulder. So we're gonna start with the front one first, and then for the front, I'd like to go always shoulder width from here. Then as you get here, you see I feel the need, because I'm not warmed enough, because the more you get warmed up, the narrower you can get. I feel the need to stretch out a little bit, and then when I reach wherever I'm comfortable with, see, I made that face, but yeah, it's because it's tight. And then from here I will have to come up further. So from the side again, let me go a little wider right here. Okay, I go up and then twist. That's I think at any time, this is the width that I can maneuver with a very ease. So here, here, and here, here, and here. Pretty easy. That's another good way to warm your shoulders up. You can add the exercise to your arsenal or shoulder mobilization before any demanding any high demanding work of shoulder routine. So right here, boom, pretty easy, boom. And then I'll come with a narrower range of motion after I get a good range, a good amount of repetition. So let's try the reverse one here, like here. This is here, right there. And then what you do is you elevate and twist back on the back. Twist to the front, and see. Once I get to the front, because the elastic band, you see how, so you're pretty much gonna need a good amount of wrist mobility as well to be able to perform that reverse one. That's, I think, a little more tricky and more advanced than the front one, but they both work, because the one performed from the back would demand you more mobility, as you have to actively move the ball from the back, and I'll show you in a bit. So I go back again right here. So here we go up here, and then back, up and back. Show you from the front, up and back, up and back. It's kind of getting good there. So front, up, back, up here. See, that's the end range when I do it from the front. That's how my arms, my hands position end up being. From here, right here. So you have the two versions, front and back, front and back. So let me try to narrow it a little bit more and give more work to my shoulder. So you will see that I have to force it to get into it. And that's as close and you will see that I cannot put it back because I don't have that strength yet. So what I would do is lean forward and let gravity get the job done. So again, look a little bit here. I don't have the strength to go because and the lack of mobility, range of motion in my shoulder. With that much tightness, I don't have enough room. So where you can see the difference between flexibility and mobility is that as I hinge forward, I let gravity do the job for me. If I had better mobility, I would have been able to hold, to go from that position and then actively move the bar over without that much strength. But because I'm not there yet, I have to lean forward, tilt a little bit, and let gravity help me with the task. That means I have to exert less force. That's the difference between flexibility and mobility. So obviously I have enough flexibility through that range of motion, but the mobility is lacking because I lack the strength to actively put it up. Same thing with this, with the back one here. See here, if I can't actively get up, that means I do lack the mobility to get up there. So either I'll go a little further out and be able to twist, see, actively move it up and come down here, see. So without range of motion, I mean without grip, I have enough strength to go through the full range of motion. I make it look simple, but people with a bad mobility, shoulder mobility, will not be able to do it as such. The only way they may get close to performing such thing would be to still there, gonna lean forward and then elevate the shoulder and slowly let gravity put it back forward. So what you call, for someone who is having a hard time doing the back, the shoulder dislocation from the back, one way would be to definitely grab it and then get like a good distance, something you feel comfortable, lean forward, elevate, and let gravity do the job. From the front, you won't really need to lean forward. You already have enough strength to go, so you just go forward. It's easy to fight. That's like a comfortable range of motion. And then once you reach that, all you gotta do is put it in the angle that's comfortable for your shoulder enough to let gravity drop it. That's it. That's why the front is easier than the back, because you are more from the front. You have a better, a more natural motion where you are stronger in that range of motion. And then all you gotta do is let gravity do the job. From here, which is unnatural, you will have to actively force your shoulder, and then on the front it's pretty easy, just let gravity drop it. So I hope it was clear enough. You guys understood a little bit how the shoulder dislocation work. I wanted to go in detail so you understand a little bit and kind of dissociate dissociate the mobility and flexibility, trying to see the difference and how it works a little bit. So this is an exercise that I would suggest to go 7 repetition, meaning 1 1, that's 1. So if you want to count 1 2 3, I'll go 14, 14 repetition. If you would like to go just for 1 back and forth, 1 trip, you go for 7 repetition, 3 to 5 sets. I think we'll do it, before any type of activity that will require your shoulder to be ready and optimal, and I will ask you to start with the front version, much easier. And as you get more comfortable, you can add the reverse, the one from the back as well. And for those who cannot handle this, something more sturdy and rigid, you can go use the resistance band. So I think we at the end. I'm not gonna waste any more of your time, and hope that was useful. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me if you found this useful, and when you try, let me know how you felt. And again, you don't want to force it. Go wider if you don't have enough room in your shoulder and on the shoulder capsule, and then slowly adapt to it. Comment, like, subscribe. Do not forget to click on the notification button. Videos like this with good explanation will be coming down very often. And last but not least, you do know that everything is and will always be beast mode, the mechanical way. Salute.